Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Jared Pali's Fragrance Reviews. Tonight we're going to be taking a look at a fragrance from the house of Nabeel, the spirit of Dubai. This fragrance is known as Diwan. The release date of this is actually unknown. This is a unisex fragrance that is considered an oriental resin. I have in my hand right now a 10 milliliter sample of this that I received from a very gracious friend of mine, great friend of mine. And to put this fragrance in perspective, a 90 milliliter bottle of this fragrance will cost you over $1,000 American. So this is likely the most expensive fragrance I am ever going to try and hold in my hand. And again, this is a 10 milliliter sample bottle. If I was to say what kind of vibe this fragrance has, I would say it's in the same genre as Gucci Pour Homme Absolute or Dark Lord by Kilian. What can I tell you about this fragrance? It is ambery, it's smoky, it's fruity, there's rose in it, there's oud, it's warm and spicy, a little bit sweet, leathery, and some animalic notes. I would like to list the amount of notes in this fragrance, but there's 44 in total. This is possibly the fragrance that has the most notes out of all the fragrances that I have. So it's an encyclopedia of notes. So I'm just going to take the top off, give it a quick spray. So right off the bat, you get a sweet, deep, smoky incense oud. It's smooth. It's not overpowering. It's not pungent or overbearing. It's very well blended, this top notes, initial spray. As it starts to dry down, it becomes sort of a fruity oud, and there are many fruity notes in this fragrance. You get a bit of like strawberry, raspberry. You get like this kind of a sweeter tobacco, but it's powerful, but it does not suffocate you. It's very exotic and natural smelling. There's no synthetic vibes in this at all. And that's probably the number one thing about this oud is that some ouds I find just way too powerful and way too synthetic. This is very appealing and it is very natural smelling. Later on, some hours later, it continues to develop in this kind of unusual but very satisfying kind of dry, woody, floral oud. And it just keeps developing and changes as the hours go by. Final verdict on this. I get about 7-8 hours. Very good projection, but again, it has to be the perfect kind of projection and sillage and scent wafts because ouds always have that capability of overpowering the room. This doesn't. It's perfect. It's a very lovely scent wafts and scent trails. And again, with this fragrance, if you ever get a chance to sample it, you got to be careful. Again, don't dig your nose in your skin. You have to get a more of a objective smell with maybe about this distance, maybe about a foot and a half, and ask people around you what they think of it. This is a very wearable fragrance, but you have to be careful on the trigger. And oud fragrances with me, I project them madly and I wear them very well in terms of the performance. I would say this is a very complex oud, maybe the most complex oud I've smelled, and it's extremely well blended. And like I said, it's very smooth and it's just perfect in the sense of being wearable. I'm not saying it can necessarily be a signature scent, but it definitely could be for dressier occasions. And you definitely would not want to wear out the bottle on this because of the price. The hardest thing I find about judging a fragrance like this or many niche fragrances is when a fragrance becomes like something like Creed or Tom Ford, $500 or more, or this one, $1,000 or more. You have to try to block out what the price is. Because if you think about the price, you're always going to think that it's never good enough. So when I review this fragrance, I am trying to do it in an objective manner where I'm not really thinking about the price. I'm just trying to comment. I'm not talking about value today. I'm talking about the actual scent profile and how this performs and how this smells. This is a very ultra luxurious fragrance with amazing flavors, and that's what I get at. It's like an aroma of flavors more than it is scents. And lastly, I would say, again, anybody that would ever want to purchase something like this, always do your due diligence. Always try to find a sample somewhere before you pull the trigger on purchasing something at this cost, because it is very, very expensive. And I do think if you are into luxury items and you have the money to spend, this could be for you. But for majority of the people, a full bottle of this is simply out of their league. But as for the scent, I think it is a beautiful scent. It's a very wearable, flavorful oud, which is hard to find. And I think that of all the notes out there, oud is one of them that is the hardest to make work in a fragrance, because it's always too powerful, too strong, too pungent, too sweet, too overwhelming. This one is done just right. And I could see how some people would say, well, they want more. But the thing is, sometimes more it doesn't work, and less is more, in the sense that if it becomes too powerful, you simply can't wear it. And what good is a fragrance if you can't wear it? And there are some of the high concentration fragrances from Amouage that you have to be careful on the application, or any oud based fragrances, because they can overpower people. Lastly, on a different note, I just want to say that I have recently stepped into a new job that is going to take a lot more of my time. It's a lot more travel. So some days it's not going to be possible for me to do a review the day. By the time I get home, I will already be up for an extremely long period of time. So I'm going to be doing a review every second day now. So one on, one off, and I still have many, many reviews to do. And I think this will work better, because I will be able to give better reviews when I'm more rested than if I've already been up for 16 hours and I'm just trying to keep my eyes open. So I want to enjoy it and I want to keep doing it, but it's going to be very hard to do it on a daily basis. So I'm going to be switching to every second day, which is still, I think, a lot of material and a lot of fragrance reviews to come. So if you like this video, hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell. Any thoughts, questions, or comments about this fragrance, any usage you have of this fragrance, leave it down below and I will always get back to you. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.